With great power comes great responsibility.
And with great power, there must also come great responsibility.
Spider-Man No Way Home delivered in ways we couldn't even begin to imagine, even with huge amounts of hype and expectation. This movie blew up the internet when it was first announced, so it was no surprise to anybody that it shattered box office records for 2021. It made me laugh, it made me cry, by golly, it got me excited. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's Spider-Man's threequel, if you will, is loaded to the brim with Easter eggs and references to other films and adventures of the comic book world. These hidden details not only encourage repeat viewing, but also makes the movie even more special for casual and hardcore fans alike. It has become practically a game at this point to find a scene without a reference or an Easter egg. If for some weird reason you haven't seen the film yet, go see the movie. Here is your mandatory spoiler warning. If you love Easter eggs and you love Spider-Man, this is the video for you. I'm something of an Easter egg hunter myself. Speaking of, Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn and Green Goblin is highly regarded as the best villain in not only the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Mans, but also in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. The character has resurfaced on the internet in recent years for completely unrelated reasons. Lovers of memes and internet culture have immediately recognized that the famous meme of Norman Osborn saying the line, "I'm something of a scientist myself,"
He tells me you're quite the science whiz. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
in the 2002 Spider-Man movie was referenced in Spider-Man No Way Home when Norman Osborn said the same line to Peter Parker in Doctor Strange's basement.
I can help you.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
There is a scene where Peter Parker is pushing through a crowd of protesters, that's a lot of P's, which is very similar to a scene in Amazing Spider-Man's number 68's Crisis on Campus, by the way. Someone holds up a sign that reads "Devil in Disguise." This is possibly a reference to Peter Parker's lawyer, Matt Murdock, who is Daredevil in disguise. This could also be a reference to Mephisto, an actual devil in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In the complicated comic book storyline of One More Day, Mephisto offered Spider-Man a deal to undo his marriage in order to save the life of Aunt May. This particular storyline was a triggering event that ended up with Doctor Strange pulling his best Chris Angel trick, undoing the fact that Peter Parker was publicly revealed as Spider-Man. Boy, doesn't that sound familiar? Matt Murdock's Daredevil appearance in No Way Home shouldn't really shock anyone, considering it's terribly common for Marvel movies and series to have crossover appearances more often than not.
Hello, Peter.
As the dude says, it really ties the room together. But to my surprise, Matt Murdock giving legal advice to my young web-slinging friend actually goes deeper than we initially thought. Matt Murdock actually defended Peter Parker in court in the comic book. In The Amazing Spider-Man issue 219, our pal Peter breaks into Rikers Island and gets arrested and calls upon Murdock to keep him out of jail. What did you think was going to happen? Good lord, you broke into a maximum security prison for Peter Parker's sake. This is a real blink and you'll miss it moment, so pay attention, kids. Moviegoers might have noticed a familiar face on a magazine cover on a newsstand. The face in question belongs to Liz Toombs, who was Peter Parker's love interest in Spider-Man Homecoming, as well as Michael Keaton's Vulture's daughter. It seems Liz appears to be calling Peter a liar on the cover of the magazine, which is clear she's still bitter from when Peter left her hanging all those times in Homecoming. Considering Liz found out that Peter is the reason her dad is in a bit of a legal pickle, it's not surprising to find out she isn't Peter Parker's biggest supporter. This one made me chuckle. Aunt May walks into Peter's room when he's standing next to MJ in his boxers because he just stripped off his Spider-Man suit, and it's pretty awkward. Although the noises coming from the bedroom suggest something more inappropriate, it is pretty harmless. This moment is a callback to when Aunt May walks in on Ned and a near-nude Peter Parker just after Ned discovers that Peter is Spider-Man. Peter quickly dresses and closes all the blinds, and it seems very appropriate that this scene takes place after the whole world discovered Peter's secret hobby. When Doctor Strange came into frame with a gray hoodie underneath his cape and a mug that says, "Oh, for fuck's sake" on it, many fans dismissed it and did not think anything of it, chalking it up to Marvel's quirky sense of humor. This was until the hardcore fans started digging into the hidden text and imagery on Doctor Strange's hoodie, and it turns out to be deeper than we thought. It turns out to be a Columbia University hoodie, and this makes complete sense for Doctor Strange to wear it. It was established in the comics that Stephen Strange graduated from this Ivy League school. Ah, this movie runs deep.
Go get him, Tiger.
Go get him, Tiger. Or should I say, Spider.
When our favorite web slinger and MJ are lying on the roof of the school reading a wonderfully reliable tabloid magazine, speculating on Spider-Man's abilities and crimes, there is a piece of graffiti that reads DITKO behind them. This is a reference to the name of the artist Steve Ditko. He was the co-creator of both Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, who also co-stars in the movie. He also co-created the Green Goblin, Sandman, Electro, Doc Ock, and the Lizard. He has a unique design for villains, so unique in fact that it inspired countless other characters, and no other creator in the Spider-Man world has come close to his level. His inclusion in the movie just feels so right. This one is a wonderful reference to Tony Stark and his technology. The robotic arm that is in Happy's condo is actually Dum-E, which is one half of Tony Stark's helper arms, the other one being you. Not you, but you. You get what I mean. They appeared in the Iron Man trilogy and in Spider-Man Homecoming, so their appearance in No Way Home makes total sense. Murdock mentions to Happy that he should get a lawyer due to the missing technology the feds are looking for, and it's hysterical to watch Happy react to learning that he may be in trouble for having the technology. During the climax of the film, spoiler, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man saved MJ from falling to her death, and he seemed to have responded way more emotionally than MJ herself. This scene potentially could have confused very casual fans as to why this scene merited so much emotions from Andrew Garfield. This entire section of the scene was a clear reference to Gwen Stacy's tragic death, spoiler, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. MJ falling off the Statue of Liberty's scaffolding is a damn near frame-by-frame reshoot of Gwen Stacy's fall, except, luckily for MJ, Spider-Man actually manages to save the person falling this time. Boy, knowing this now actually makes both scenes even more sad. Is anybody crying? Poor Peter, you did the best you could, pal. Back to those very reliable tabloid articles that the Love Bunch is rating on the roof, it suggests that Spider-Man even has Spider-Minions. But boy, the writer of these tabloid articles had no idea how accurate he or she was. There was a period of time in the comic books where Spider-Man and Doc Ock switched brains before Otto killed Peter in his former body. Sounds complicated, let me explain. After many hard-fought battles, Doc Ock's body started to fail and decay itself. So in one last attempt to survive, Otto swapped consciousness with Spider-Man, leaving Spider-Man weak and dying in his fragile new body. However, residual memories caused Otto to understand the responsibility of being a hero. Let me move forward. This meant that Doc Ock got to experience the beauty of life as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man with no one to stop him. Let's dig a little deeper. He dubbed himself the Superior Spider-Man, which was the new title of the comic book. Doc then set out to be the hero in the most evil way possible. One of the first things he did was hire some henchmen that he dubbed his Spider-Minions. He had his own personal army in his war against crime to form his own legacy as a legendary evil crime fighter. It sounds so cute, but it's just so evil. A digital backup of Otto's mind survived, and using cloning technology, he was able to transfer his mind to a new body with his and Spider-Man's genes. Good lord! Therefore, becoming the superior octopus while working for Hydra. Along with his Spider-Minions, he then moved to San Francisco and resumed his activities as the superior Spider-Man and octopus. But regardless of how much good he did, Otto was forced to make a deal with Mephisto to return to his normal body in order to defeat another mastermind. Boy, that really went deeper than I thought. I'm sorry for trailing. This entry is a very small detail that I am just in love with. After Peter's secret life is revealed and Stark Industries are under investigation, Happy is shown on TV being related to the legal troubles. But rather than using a recent photo, the photo they use of him is from 1999, where he's rocking some long hair and a bolo tie. This look was served in Iron Man 3 during the New Year's Eve party prelude in Switzerland. On top of that, next to the TV is a pile of hung-up security badges. This is another reference to Iron Man 3 when Happy got the job as the head of security and badgered everyone to wear their security badges. The man even put flyers in the bathroom. You can't even take a pee in peace without being micromanaged. Saying Marvel movies love to slide in small details that mean so much is an understatement.
We have a new world to conquer.
During the bridge sequence, we can see the MIT's Vice Chancellor's car. What the hell's a Vice Chancellor anyways? The license plate is shown. Now, we all know this can't just be a random compilation of numbers. No, it never is in Marvel movies. Even the food they eat is somehow a reference. Good lord. Anywho, the license plate says 63 ASM3, which is a reference to Doc Ock's first ever appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man number 3 in 1963. Good lord, how did anybody find this one? In the very beginning of the movie, as Spider-Man attempts to swing away from the attention he's getting from the citizens of New York City, advertisements can be seen in the background for a Broadway show, Rogers the Musical. To the casual fan, you may only see a silhouette of Captain America and his signature shield, but it goes a bit deeper. This advertisement was first introduced and depicted in Hawkeye. Although no more details about this Broadway show has come out in No Way Home, fans were very happy to see even the smallest details continue to pop up in stories in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jumping back to our favorite tabloid magazine that is often featured in Spider-Man movies, one of the articles that MJ is reading suggests that a web-slinging boy has powers of seduction. Enough that even she may fall for the spell. Spiders aren't exactly known for their seduction powers, and Peter is no different. Just watch the boxer scene in his bedroom, and you can see how awkward the boy is. Little did we know, the article really isn't that far off. In the comic books, it's not Spider-Man who has seduction powers, it's actually Spider-Woman. It wasn't a proud moment for feminism in the 1970s comic, but Spider-Woman used her seduction powers both in her early role as a Hydra villain and eventually as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Back to a pure and wholesome entry to end us off, a Spider-Man movie wouldn't be the same without a Stan Lee reference, who is the creator of Spider-Man and many, many more. Back to the bridge sequence, one of the taxis on the George Washington Bridge has the number 1228 on the car. This is shorthand for December 28th, which, if you don't know, is Stan Lee's birthday. Wow, so wholesome.
Hey, you're not a nobody. You're somebody.
Never a nobody, man. Yes, I was.
All right, we got a very special bonus entry for you because you behaved so well. You should be very proud of yourself. In Spider-Man No Way Home, we meet Zendaya's wonderful performance of Michelle Jones, which is later nicknamed MJ in the film's finale. Some hardcore fans speculated that she was based on the character of Michelle Gonzalez from the comics, a roommate of Peter, and they had an on-again, off-again relationship. That sounds pretty complicated. Fans thought that MJ's nickname was just a throwaway joke for the fans. We didn't really know how seriously we should take the MJ nickname because we knew this wasn't the Mary Jane Watson we all know and love, which is Spider-Man's longtime crush, neighbor, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, wife, ex-wife, etc. The list goes on and on. In Spider-Man Far From Home, we uncovered some of the deeper elements of Zendaya's character that gave us hints to her backstory from the comics. It soon became clear to us that MJ was not a throwaway joke and that Marvel was attempting to present Michelle Jones as the new definitive look at the MJ character. This point was further proven in Spider-Man No Way Home when we discovered her last name isn't actually Jones. Her full name is Michelle Jones Watson, or MJ Watson if you will. It all makes sense now. Spider-Man No Way Home has certainly captured our hearts and brought us on the web-slinging ride of our lives. Easily the most popular superhero movie, maybe even ever. We were glad to see the movie was loaded with Easter eggs and references, from small details you would never even notice to large and in-your-face cameos. The Marvel Cinematic Universe never seems to disappoint. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go put on an airtight rubber suit and practice my fighting moves.
Power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen the movie, you've seen the video. What were some of your favorite references and Easter eggs in Spider-Man No Way Home? Did you notice any of these when you watched the movie? If you did, let us know in the comments below. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.